Good afternoon.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to be starting this conversation with my friend, Terence from Shopee. I'm going to begin by asking him a few questions, and then today is about rural exports using the e-commerce platform. That's the subject we've been assigned to talk about. I came to Istanbul, arrived here at 5 in the morning yesterday. Beautiful weather, very beautiful people, great country. I've been here a few times before. What about you, Terence? You've been here many times before?
No, I've only been here twice before.
Yeah. What do you like? What's best about Istanbul, Turkey?
Well, I mean,
Beautiful ladies?
let's say beautiful people. And it's also a very beautiful city. And I absolutely love all the cats that's wandering around the city too, though.
Yeah, I like the dynamism of the economy, the vibrancy of the traffic industry, the business in Istanbul, a big country, and of course, a lot of history here, a lot of museums and the mosques here. So, it's a great country. Thank you, Trade Ministry of Turkey, and especially the Minister of Trade, Professor Omar Bolat, for inviting us. Okay, we'll begin our conversation. As I said, today is about e-commerce and rural exports. That's the subject given to us. I'm going to begin by asking my friend Terence, what do you do in Shopee?
Right. So I work for the parent company of Shopee, and I'm in charge of global expansion for the group. And specifically for Shopee, I take care of the business in Malaysia. So maybe I'll do a quick introduction of Shopee. Shopee is a marketplace e-commerce platform that was set up just under 10 years ago in 2015. We've since expanded to 11 markets around Southeast Asia and also South America. So essentially, we're connecting millions of sellers to about 1 billion of population around the regions that we operate in.
And of course, you have both, together with the Malaysian Digital Economic Corporation. You have had a very interesting session with colleagues here in Turkey on the B2B conversation. You want to share with us, what kind of outcomes have you achieved so far in the last few hours here in this summit?
Right. So as Stockpile mentioned, we've landed only less than 30 hours ago, and it's been a very productive day. So thank you to the Ministry of Trade here in Turkey, who has connected us to many businesses here, including a number of top retailers and e-commerce platform. I would say the discussion are preliminary for now, but it's definitely very encouraging. I think there's a lot of opportunities that we can work together and collaborate to further improve on the trade between the two countries.
Great. I would like to thank the Trade Ministry and also our Trade Office here in Istanbul for bringing us to visit 3 leading Turkey companies yesterday. One of the top, or 3 of the top companies. We were very impressed with their performance in terms of e-commerce, in terms of exporting Turkey's products, and we learned a lot, and we hope to be able to learn a lot more in the next few hours. Anyway, let's go back to the subject of this afternoon. What are you doing to help the rural people? Turkey, I've been informed, about 10%, I might be wrong, of your population live in the rural areas. 90% are the urban areas. For Malaysia, my country, 28% are in the rural, 72% are in urban areas. It's getting more and more urbanized. That's a trend in the future. And rural people in general, they are backward, incomes are lower. So what are you doing, Shopee, to uplift the economic status of the rural people?
Right. So I'll speak based on our experience operating in Southeast Asia region. So a little bit more about Shopee first. So Shopee is the one thing that I think that's different from a lot of other e-commerce platform is that it's hyper localized. And so while we are a very regional company, we believe that we need to also be a local company and local marketplace in all the countries that we operate in. And by localization, I mean everything from the content that you see on the marketplace, on the platform, to the people behind, people managing and running the operations, to the pool of sellers that you will find in every country that we have operations in. And that's in line with the mission that we have to grow together with the local communities and to also develop a pool of local micro SME as we work together with the governments to develop the digital economies in all the countries that we operate in. And amongst all the micro SMEs that we are developing, a large percentage of them are from the rural area. And from a private sector perspective, I think there are a number of key challenges that entrepreneurs in rural areas are facing. And these are inherent competitive disadvantage that they have purely because they are based in rural areas. Maybe I'll talk about 3 areas. Number 1, around digital literacy. Number 2, around digital accessibility. And the third thing is around, I call it the physical, logistical connectivity. So on the first, as a marketplace and e-commerce platform, we have a series of learning programs to help to upskill the entrepreneurs that want to do business on our platform. And essentially, it's 2 steps. One step is to help them moving from offline to online. And then there are continuous programs to help them to upskill and also to improve on their digital capability to be successful in the digital economy. And this includes everything from, so the courses that we offer, both online and offline, includes 101 of how to set up a shop, to topics like how do you manage customers, engagement, shop, portfolio management, to topics like sales, data, analytics, and digital marketing. So all those we provide to the entrepreneurs that do business on our platform for free. That's number 1. Number 2, it's about closing the gap around digital accessibility. So I'm not talking about internet connectivity. So that's an infra play, which is out of our control. But as a tech company, we will make sure that the design of the app is simple enough. Even though we are trying to load as much content as possible onto our platform for our consumer, we need to make sure that the app is accessible to all the sellers, right? Regardless of so in other words, compatible with a whole range of devices that both our consumer and the sellers are using. The third thing is around logistics, and that's a very important one. A seller who is based in rural area should not be disadvantaged, nor a buyer be disadvantaged as well, right? If they choose to buy from a rural seller, just because from a longer delivery and also higher delivery cost perspective. So as a company, we invest heavily into the logistics network, both directly as well as indirectly with all the major 3PL players in all the countries that we operate in. So that's there are a few more topics that we can that I won't talk about today, but I think these are the top 3 topics, and essentially it's about leveling the playing field for all the players, regardless of whether you are based in urban or rural area. So, Dato, so you were previously the Minister of Trade and Economy, and I know you're retired. And what are you doing here?
Well, let me begin by sharing something that you all know, of course. COVID-19 and the health pandemic has been the main push for e-commerce throughout the world. I mean, in Turkey, in Malaysia, we all know that in Turkey there's been big growth in e-commerce adoption, and in the case of Malaysia, e-commerce was only about 7 to 8% of GDP before COVID-19, and now it's somewhere around 13%, doubling. E-commerce growing by leaps and bounds. So this is, and the other is provided job and employment opportunities, not only to rural people, but also to young people. So this is one of the indirect consequences of COVID-19, the health crisis. A massive explosion of e-commerce and providing job opportunities for young people and also for rural people in rural areas. I just want to share with you what I've been doing in the last 3-4 years. I set up a community. I come from a village called Jeli, in where I come from. Yeah, there's a group of 207 entrepreneurs, which I put them together in a WhatsApp group. And out of 207, 30 of them are very successful on online business. There's one lady selling pizza, both online and offline, were 50-50. 50% of the sales. Many entrepreneurs where I come from are women. Yeah, they're very enterprising, very hardworking. And I'm pleased that out of the 207, which I've created, 30 of them are actually doing well on the e-commerce platform. Unfortunately, not too many of them are exporting. One is involved in making and selling pizzas, doing extremely well, with about 70 employees, yeah, in the village. Another is selling Muslim headwear, including scarves. Yeah. 30 of them are doing well. Out of the 30, probably 10 are doing extremely well. They were not earning that much before COVID, but since COVID, the incomes have gone up, and probably they have become, some of them have become very rich. But what I want to share with you is that the challenge is how to bring them to the market. In my case, beginning from this small rural area, only about 2 or 3 out of 207 who have been able to export their products overseas. Yeah? And only very small quantities, only in neighboring countries. Yeah? Malaysia, our neighbors, Singapore, Brunei, Indonesia. So they are exporting only to these 2-3 countries. So the challenge, I want to find out from Terence, what can you do as a company, yeah, in order to help these rural people to enter the Turkish market? Their market has been limited before COVID. COVID has expanded the market, but our failure has been to groom these rural entrepreneurs to grow beyond the national borders to export the products to Turkey and other countries. What can you do, and what can other companies like you do in order to bring them to the global market so that they can enjoy a bigger market and higher incomes?
Sure. I'll talk about what Shopee is doing on that front. So in terms of breaking the barrier for the sellers who are doing business on our platform, there are 2 levels. So on the first level, I mean, as soon as an entrepreneur joins a platform, it gives them access to the entire consumer pool within the country that they do business in. So that's on the first level. And then on second level, for sellers who qualify, and when I say qualification, it means, sellers with unique products that might be attractive to consumers in a different market and consistently performing well based on customer feedback and review. We do have a program called Shopee International Platform, where we help the sellers to export beyond their local market. And it's a program that makes things very simple for our sellers to export. So what it does is, as soon as the sellers sign up in the program, we will make their product visible to consumers in other markets. And when they receive an order internationally outside of their country, from a fulfillment perspective, all they need to do is to package their product and send it to a local Shopee warehouse. And then Shopee will take care of everything else for them from a logistics perspective, end to end, from the outbound delivery to the cross-border custom clearance to payment collection and forex management. So all of that, and making it very seamless for them. Right? So this is what we do, and also through that's how we, contribute as a platform, contribute to the international trade amongst all the countries that we have presence in currently.
We've heard of some very successful stories, from a few companies like yours and a few others as well. China, for example, one of the strategies to eliminate poverty. China has declared, that there's no poverty in February 2021. No more poor people in China. That was three years ago. And one of the strategies used was to get them on board on the digital economy. I think, what do you say to this proposal that you should document some of the success stories and groom them, nurture them, provide help, and bring them to the global market so that, they have access to a bigger market. And this is important. I mean, we're in Turkey, we enjoy very close ties, Malaysia and Turkey. Our 2 leaders are very close to each other, President Erdogan and Prime Minister Anwar, for example, and we are very close. But a lot more needs to be done. So I'm suggesting that, because we're here in Turkey and you have met some Turkish colleagues here, why don't you document some of the success stories and bring them out to Europe or to Turkey? And similarly, some of the companies in Turkey might want to do the same thing, by documenting, sharing with the wider audience some success stories to provide motivation for more entrepreneurs, especially rural people. We're talking today is about rural people. Rural people, by definition, they are way behind in terms of digital adoption, in terms of e-commerce. So if you can document that, highlight some success stories here in Turkey and over in Malaysia, you share those stories to provide motivation for more rural people to be on board on e-commerce. And by doing that, of course, they can have access to the wider global market.
Sure.
Can you do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do have a lot of success stories. So in Malaysia alone, I think there are about 100,000 merchants.
You're doing a lot to encourage small and medium enterprises, right?
Yeah, small medium enterprise. So that's our focus for Shopee. And many success stories. So there are for example, there's one seller in a small island of Malaysia by the name of Penang, who manufactures batik inspired clothing. And so they were doing okay locally. And, but as soon as they joined the Shopee International Platform Program, their sales, I think, increased by 25% overnight. And I've had multiple examples where when the sellers are on the program, their international sales is typically 3 to 5 times their volume locally. And we do have many of those stories.
I'm keen to look at e-commerce as an instrument to uplift the incomes of rural people, as an instrument to have access to a wider market. The big players, of course, they know how to take care of themselves, but it is very satisfying as a company. You can groom and nurture, say 10, 100, whatever companies, to be able to have access to the wider market, and by doing so, you get them out of poverty. You bring them. Enable them to be part of the global economy. So the global economy is not just a source of a market for big companies, but also for smaller people coming from the rural areas.
Absolutely. So, Tokpa, I remember when you were the Minister of Trade, you signed the free trade agreement between Malaysia and Turkey. Do you want to share a bit more about that?
Okay. I happened to be Trade Minister for 9 years, and I was responsible for negotiating and signing the Malaysia-Turkey free trade agreement in the year 2014. That was 10 years ago. And a few weeks ago, we have expanded that trade agreement to cover 3 new areas. The agreement signed 10 years ago was pretty about tariffs, improving access for Malaysian products to enter the Turkish market, and for Turkish products to have better access to enter the Malaysian market. Beginning 1st August of this year, this trade agreement has been expanded to cover 3 additional areas, which one is on services. We have liberalized the service sector in Malaysia and Turkey to enable our companies to come here and do business in Turkey. Also, Turkish business, construction, banking, and others to enter the Malaysian market. So one is investment, one is services. Number 2 is investment. To promote investments in Malaysia, we have not too many Turkish companies in Malaysia. We want more Turkish investments in Malaysia. So the trade agreement has been improved to facilitate more investments coming from Turkey to Malaysia, and also from Malaysia coming to Turkey. And thirdly, which is relevant to our discussion this afternoon, the trade agreement has been expanded to cover e-commerce. It is now in place. It is now operational. This is new. And I would encourage our colleagues in Turkey and our colleagues in Malaysia to go deeper into this expanded trade agreement. We have our trade office here in Maya Akar Center, not too far from here. Mr. Sadat is here promoting trade in Malaysia, trade in Turkey, between Malaysia and Turkey. So I'm encouraging, first I want to share with you that we have a trade agreement which is functioning, 10 years old. This has been further revised, refined, further expanded, and there are opportunities increasing e-commerce. And we have an office here. We have a trade office in Istanbul, which is responsible for bringing about closer ties between Turkey and Malaysia. I want to share with you also that our trade is heavily imbalanced. Yeah, a ratio of 3 to 1. Yeah, 3 to 1. For every $1 that we import from you, yeah, we export, yeah, $3 to you. So there's a big imbalance. Yeah, very much in our favor. A big trade surplus enjoyed by Malaysia, which means we have to buy more from Turkey. So I'm urging my friends in Turkey to explore the possibility of selling more products so that we have a more balanced trade between the two countries. The spirit of this trade agreement is twofold. One is to encourage closer ties with Malaysia and Turkey, more trade between two countries. The other is to make sure that trade, if it is not evenly balanced, so that there's more balance between trade between the two countries. At the moment, it is heavily in favor of Malaysia, which means we are keen to buy more from Turkey. And I'm encouraging some of the key e-commerce players in Malaysia to come here. And of course, key e-commerce players in Turkey to go to Malaysia to market your products, to encourage more trade between the two countries. But once again, this is for the country. We have to focus more and more to rural people who are in need of help. I'm passionate about entrepreneurship. I'm passionate about helping poor people, and the poor people need a lot of help. As I said, in China, they have done a lot in order to bring e-commerce to rural people as an instrument, as a policy in order to reduce and eliminate poverty in China. Yeah.
So maybe just adding on to that, Dr. I think helping rural area or empowering rural area entrepreneurship it requires a lot of public-private partnership. And so I talk about how from a private enterprise perspective, how we can, the different initiatives that we're doing to help the entrepreneurs in the rural area. And then I know, say in many countries that we operate in, including Malaysia, the government has a lot of initiatives focused on helping the same group of entrepreneurs as well. I understand there's a lot of incentives, for example, even to...
We have to learn from each other.
Mm-hmm.
In the case of Malaysia, we have set up a number of dedicated focus agencies. They are part of the government to promote e-commerce, to promote entrepreneurship in rural areas. And one example is the Malaysian Digital Economic Corporation, whose responsibility, among others, is to bring e-commerce to rural areas, to micro, small enterprises. It is important to have focus, dedicated people helping entrepreneurs. And training, of course, is a very important aspect. Awareness, some rural people are not aware, they haven't got devices, they don't have access to the internet. So training is key, enhancing their awareness. And in the case of Malaysia, the government has been providing grants, some in kind, some in cash, to help them in their businesses. I've been personally involved in some of these programs, and some of them, the 30 entrepreneurs who have been successful, where I come from, out of 207, many of them have obtained help in the form of free training from the government of Malaysia, and also grants, and soft loans. These are important. We have to make sure that whatever we do is inclusive, meaning it helps everyone, not just the big boys, but also the small micro enterprises in particular. So there's got to be closer collaboration. I'm pleased, that Shopee is doing something to help as part of your CSR, corporate social responsibility. So it is important, not just the government, to come forward and discharge its responsibility of helping the rural entrepreneurs. It is important for the big companies, like Shopee. Turkey has got many companies, I am encouraging more and more companies to go to the ground, to rural people, those who don't have access to facilities, to training, to train them free of charge, of course. That's important. So it is not just the government, it is also the responsibility of private companies to help the rural people, the poor people, to come on board and penetrate the export market.
So I guess, and lastly, the key objective of us being here, and for me being here, is to look at how we can connect to more exporters in Turkey. And I must say that over the last day and a half, I'm very encouraged by all the conversations that I've managed to have with the local retailers, and also the response and conversations that we receive in the room next door. So there's a lot of context I will bring back and connect after this trip for sure.
Well, firstly, once again, we have a free trade agreement between Malaysia and Turkey, which is 10 years old. And the trade agreements have been refined, have been improved. Beginning 1st August, it covers investments, it covers services and e-commerce. So that's point number one. Point number two, trade is heavily in Malaysia's favor, which means we are selling a lot more products, a lot more than what we buy from Turkey. So my government is keen to explore the possibility of buying more from Turkey. That's point number two. Point number three, I have yesterday visited 3 very successful companies, e-commerce companies in Istanbul. Very impressed with their achievements. And I'm asking my man here, our gentleman who is in charge of trade promotion, to meet them and see what they can do to buy more products from Malaysia, from especially small, medium enterprises. So the big companies have got a role to play, and probably we'll bring them to Malaysia, 5 of them, And I just want to share with you that investments from Turkey are small at this point of time. We have EVYAP, which is there probably about 10 years old. We have 1 or 2 companies having small operations in Malaysia. We have some Malaysian operations here. But given the interest and commitment to do more between the 2 countries, given the fact that we have a free trade agreement, in my view, we have not fully utilized the potential. So I'm suggesting today that some of the more established Turkish companies might want to come to Malaysia. I know that some have been going, but we have to do a lot more. We are keen to buy more from you, and of course, we also want to sell more to you. We have to focus on small and medium enterprises, people from rural areas, so that they can have access to the global market, and by doing that, hopefully they can improve their incomes.
Right. So I guess on that note, Papa, maybe I'll share that we are working together with the Malaysian Trade Promotion Office and also the Turkish Trade Ministry. We are planning a business matching program between the Turkish exporters and also the 2 million sellers that we have on Shopee Malaysia. And so there more information that will be made available through the E-Trade Office. So please feel free to approach us at our table for more information.
Yes, of course, a lot has been done, but a lot more has to be done. Not enough has been done. And the proof of this is that trade between our 2 countries is only about $4.5 billion US, 4.5 billion. The potential is huge. Malaysia is not only a fairly sizable market, but we are in the center of ASEAN. ASEAN is a grouping of 10 countries, and Malaysia is actually in the center of ASEAN. Our neighbors are Indonesia, the biggest Muslim country in the world, Singapore, a developed country, Thailand, and many other countries. So we are in the center of ASEAN. So Malaysia has got a lot of potential. I am encouraging our Turkish friends here today to explore the Malaysian market, to promote your companies aggressively in Malaysia, of course, to sell your products in Malaysia, and also we want to buy from you. And we have you have your ambassador in Kuala Lumpur. We have an ambassador in Ankara. We have a trade office here. But the point is, we have been close to each other. We have a free trade agreement. But from my point of view, from my experience, we have not been fully exploiting the potential. We have a lot more potential. Turkey, with about almost 90 million people, very strategically located, doing well in tourism, technology. Malaysia being the center of ASEAN. ASEAN is 700 million people. If you have business in Malaysia and Shopee can lead you the way into the ASEAN market, we are 700 million people. Turkey is about 90 million people. If you set up base in Malaysia, you have access to the whole ASEAN market of 700 million people. So these are the opportunities we have. I'm suggesting to the Turkish exporters assembly and our colleagues in Turkey, and also my colleagues in Malaysia, to do a lot more. In my view, we have not done enough. Although there's been some successes, but certainly, we're not there yet. Let's start from here, from the summit in Istanbul. Let's do something different. Let's do a lot more in particular to help the rural people so that they can not only penetrate local market, but go beyond our borders and begin to export to the world. That's my hope. Yeah. So once again, thank you, Terence. Thank you, all of you, for joining us, and I wish you all the best. Terima kasih.
Thank you.